Guys. So welcome to the blog today. So I didn't know about this one. This one's escaped me. So last week, there was there were 10.6 million records that were posted on a hacking forum from an MGM Resorts breach from last year. Now, I can't keep up with every breach that happens. There's one every day. I just don't remember seeing this one, and it I don't remember blogging about it. It could be out there. I do have a regular day job most of the time where I actually am working, not just talking to you guys and blogging. But in any event, I just don't remember this one. But in any event, they posted, or the hackers posted on this hacking forum last week, and now it's gotten the attention. Of course, MGM says they notified folks that were impacted last year. There's nothing to see here, but basically, it was personal and contact information for celebrities, reporters, government officials, all those people that are out there during all of those Las Vegas conventions that in July, or that are out there for Black Hat and etc. That stay at MGM. Their information is now compromised. I mean, the tech CEOs. Can you imagine how many people, even government officials, right? And that actually, having that type of information. So evident, it was a full name, home address, phone number, email, date of birth. And the MGM said last summer they discovered an unauthorized access to a cloud server, but no financial, payment card data, or password data was stolen. Again, I put different value on different things. Full name, home address, phone number, email, my date of birth is different than payment card data. You guys are going to hear me say that all the time. I just think it's different. And so what you now have, though, is the opportunity for these hackers, or these folks that took this information, that posted it out there. It's now out there. I think they said Justin Bieber's information is out there. So I'll go look for it, see if I can find Justin. But in any event, they could realistically try to craft a very good phishing email coming from an individual that they have that information from. Think business email compromise. And so, now you have the 10.6 million people out there that, and my data is probably there too, because I can guarantee you I've stayed at the MGM or one of their properties over the course of the past several years. I like Vegas, so, and other places. So it's out there. Again, my data is out there, but knowing how these things all operate, it was just surprising to me that I was just getting wind of this, and wonder if you guys knew about it. But in any event, uh, another breach, another huge breach, and another, oh, nothing to see here, we didn't lose anything that matters type of thing. I think that continuously these things happening are desensitizing us to the amount of personal information that is being exposed about us on a daily basis. And I hear folks say, they probably won't say this in public, and they may say this in public, and you hear organizations that don't want to do anything about cybersecurity and privacy say, oh, well, why should I care? It's my information's always, it's out there anyway. Well, you have a responsibility to protect the information that people are sharing with you. If I go to MGM, I'm not expecting them to lose my data. That's an expectation that if I give them my credit card information, if I give them my name, my email address for you to contact me, that you will protect that data. That is what information security is about. It's not about just because it's out there, I don't have to do anything. So just because MGM had a breach, that means, what is another resort property out there? The Venetian. I don't even know if that's an MGM property, but in any event, all the hotels in Vegas can now say, I don't have to protect that information because MGM had a breach, and the likelihood that someone that stayed at MGM stayed at my hotel, so it doesn't matter. And that's not the point. And I think that oftentimes when you read these breaches, I get frustrated, because that's not the point. The point is not that I didn't lose important data. The point is you lost my data. And I did not go to your hotel for you to lose my data. And I think we're losing that piece in our field, and we're getting desensitized to it, and that's a problem, I think, because the organizations are supposed to take very seriously the information that's shared to them by their customer base. They value it enough to sell it, because it has value, right? So why don't you value it enough to actually protect it like you're supposed to? So does if I sell your data, does that mean I can be lax in my cybersecurity requirements? I just think we're in a dangerous spot. We're in again in a place in 2020 where something has to give, because everybody just willy-nilly out there not doing anything, and it's not like the cybersecurity industry as far as tools go is, it's still booming, right? And so what are these tools now getting us if we're still having individual configuration breaches? Because they said it was a cloud, unauthorized access to a cloud server. I suspect, given the fact of all these cloud buckets that are out there that are misconfigured, that was probably the case. I'm guessing. But again, cloud service providers and those breaches that have been happening because of a lack of security on those cloud service technologies, organizations need to understand that, how to actually implement certain technology. If you're going to go to the cloud, and I'm not against the cloud, but you should at least know what you're exposing, or at least have the people that are in house or on staff able to work with that technology to ensure that you're securing the information. So I'm sorry I got on my soapbox today. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Stay tuned for the random thought. Thanks. For those of you who are new to the blog, new to Mary Cheney, and you say, who in the world is this woman on here talking about this boring subject? Let me give you a introduction to my background. My name is Mary Cheney. Like I said, I own my own cybersecurity and privacy law practice in Dallas, Texas. That's why it's affectionately called the Cybersecurity Law Firm of Texas. I have an IT background. My undergraduate degree is in information systems. After undergraduate, I went to law school. It's a fascinating story. You have to look at the other videos on the channel to get the full story. I won't bore you guys with those details right now. But after undergraduate, I went to law school in Houston, Texas. I graduated, took and passed the bar, and went into the FBI. So I was a federal investigator for the FBI, where I investigated cybercrime. I did that for several years. I was able to serve as an information security officer for the FBI in Los Angeles. And then I started my first career as an entrepreneur. And I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. Shout out to Cincinnati, Ohio. And I was back in Ohio, and I started my own consulting practice. And I was able to run that consulting practice for about 4 years before I ran out of money the first time. And then I went into corporate America. So I started my corporate journey. I spent times as an executive for GE Capital, Johnson & Johnson, as well as Comcast on the operations side. I never did practice law. Once passing the bar and going through the FBI, I started my career in the operations side, right? My corporate career on the operations side. So I was director of incident response for GE Capital. I was the director of the Security Operations Center for Johnson & Johnson, and had a stint with Comcast where I was in the global CISO's office. So much of my career up until, a few years ago was on the operations side, security operations side. So left corporate America to start my own law practice. I started my own law practice in 2018. And I only know cybersecurity and privacy. That's the only thing I've ever done. It's the only thing that I love to do. So I started my law practice, and I've been having a lot of fun. I moonlight as an adjunct professor with the University of Cincinnati, where I teach information security, cybersecurity courses. I also own my own nonprofit, where minorities in cybersecurity. You may hear me talk about that as well, where we try to create a leadership community for those that are entering cybersecurity, that are in cybersecurity, that are trying to get promoted in cybersecurity. So we provide a a forum for them to map out their careers and move forward in this fascinating field. So I just wanted to take a little time out to give you a little bit of background about me, just in case you were wondering who in the world this woman was. Thanks. Would you know if you had a security breach? Would you know who to call if you had a security breach? Do you know your requirements by law to report when you have a security breach? Do you have a written incident response plan? If not, you may want to call us, the cybersecurity law firm of Texas, where we have incident response workshops where we walk our clients step by step through the creation of an incident response capability so you will know and you'll be able to respond. If you're interested, please go to our website and sign up for one of our sessions now. Guys, random thought for today. Okay, so now I'm back on this facial recognition thing. I saw this article and I just we're getting into it's a tough. So evidently, Russia is using facial recognition to keep the 2,500 people they say should be under quarantine from the coronavirus in their house or wherever they're supposed to be. There are no Russian citizens, by the way. They have a ban, I think, on travel for Chinese nationals, but Russian citizens coming, they can come back in, but they're now, on home arrest, I guess. And using facial recognition to make sure they stay with it where they stay, that just I understand it's Russia. I get it, and civil liberties in Russia don't really go hand in hand, but the fact that it's being done, it's not that far of a jump to say we could use that type of technology here to police folks. And it just, from a privacy perspective, it just it really cuts to the core of why I think facial recognition is so dangerous. I mean, because it's, beyond the fact that, the coronavirus is, thought to be specifically, Asian, of folks of Asian descent, despite the fact that you can have false positives. I mean, all of this stuff, all of this technology being used in this way, it just cuts at the core of why it is, as a nation, United States, or as a world, we shouldn't use technology to police people in this fashion. But I guess it's only going to get worse as long as there are no rules out there. And of course, we all know the United States, there are no rules. They've been calling on a moratorium on any type of facial recognition technology. There have been some chatter about that, specifically because of the algorithms. And you've heard me talk about this before, so I will spare you guys, because of the bias that, are built in the algorithms potentially, and not having visibility or not having any standards to judge a particular algorithm that they're using for facial recognition, how good it is, right? And there are people out there that are not on the up and up. So be on the lookout for that, and continue. I'll continue to watch the space, because it's fascinating and it's frightening. Have a great day, guys. Thanks again for listening to the Breach Whisperer blog, sponsored by the cybersecurity law firm of Texas. Don't forget to like this post and subscribe to our channel so you can get updates of when we post new things on our channel. In addition, spread the word for me, right? Let's get out there and tell a friend, and so they can all become paranoid cybersecurity and privacy people. Don't forget, if you would like to connect with me on socials, you can connect with me on Twitter, at Mary N. Cheney. Use my middle initial always. For my nonprofit, Minorities in Cybersecurity, that is at Mike Leadership, and Instagram and Facebook at MN Cheney Law. And you can find me on LinkedIn just by searching for my name. So if you're interested, connect with me. Thanks again. And just remember, awareness equals knowledge.